Hello! In this video we're going to be going through a workpack that I've created on probability trees. So this workpack is available to download on my website, so I'll link that in the description box, but otherwise let's just get started. So this first question here, we have a fair coin flipped twice. We need to complete the probability tree diagram. So there's two possible outcomes for the first flip. You can either have a heads or a tails. And because it's a fair coin, there's an equal probability of landing on a heads and a tails. So the probability of a heads is going to be 1/2, and the probability of a tails is also going to be 1/2. So we call these independent events because the results from the first flip is not dependent on the results from the second flip. So there's going to be the same probability of getting a heads or a tails regardless of what the outcome was on the first flip. So the probability of a heads on the second flip is still going to be a half, and the tails is also going to be a half, and heads is going to be a half, and tails is also going to be a half. So that's our tree diagram. So the next part, we need to find the probability of getting exactly one head. So exactly one means just one head. So the paths we could take to get just one heads, we could either get a head and a tails because there's just one head there, or we could get a tails and then a heads. So to work out the probabilities, we do a half times a half. So we take these two numbers and we times them. So a half times a half, and that is going to be a quarter. So we're going to do the same thing for the other branch. So we're going to do a half times a half again. So a half times a half is still a quarter. So now what we do is we add these two. So a quarter plus a quarter, that's going to be a half. So the probability of getting exactly one head is going to be 1/2. This next question here, we have a football team playing 2 matches. For each match, the probability of winning is 0.5 and drawing is 0.2. So we need to complete the probability tree diagram. So we're already told that the probability of winning is 0.5. So I'm going to put 0.5 straight away here. And the probability of drawing is 0.2. So 0.2 is going to go over here. So now probability should always add up to 1. So all of the branches should always add up to 1. So 0.5 plus 0.2, that's 0.7. And what's left is 0.3. So we're going to have 0.3 over here. Now again, these are independent events, meaning that regardless of what happened in the first match, it doesn't impact what's going to happen in the second match. So the probabilities for the second match is going to be the same. So we have 0.5, 0.2 and 0.3, 0.5, 0.2 and 0.3, 0.5, 0.2 and 0.3. So we've done the tree diagram. We now need to find the probability that the team wins exactly one match. So again, to win exactly one match, we could either win and we could draw, we could win and we could lose, we could draw and we could win, or we could lose and then we could win. So we need to work out each of these probabilities. So winning and drawing is going to be 0.5 times 0.2, so that's going to be 0.10. We've got 0.5 times 0.3 for this one, so that's 0.15. We've got 0.2 times 0.5, so that's 0.10. And then this one, we've got 0.3 times 0.5, and that's 0.15. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add up each of these outcomes. So we have 0.10 plus 0.15 plus 0.10 plus 0.15. So that ends up being 0.5. So probability of winning exactly one match is going to be 0.5. This next question here, we have a bag contains 3 red and 2 blue counters. 2 counters are taken without replacement, and below is the tree diagram. We need to find 2 things that are wrong with the tree diagram. So when I see these questions, the first thing I do is I look at the branches. So do all of the branches add up to 1? So that's what should always happen. The branches should always add up to 1 because probabilities always add up to 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see if they do. So 2/5 plus 3/5, so that adds to 1, so that's kind of okay. And then we have 1/5 and 3/5. So we have 2/5 and 2/5, so they don't add up to 1. So 1/5 and 3/5, they add up to 4/5, and 2/5 and 2/5 also add up to 4/5. So we know the outcomes from the second counter do not add up to 1. So that's going to be my first thing. And now I'm going to look. So if we look in a bit more detail, it says a bag contains 3 red and 2 blue counters. So that means if I was going to fill in this probability tree, I would say the probability of red is going to be 3/5, and the probability of blue is 2/5. Now it looks like they've got the two mixed up. So that's what I'm going to write for my second reason. The probability of red and blue have been mixed up. So this question here, we have a bag contains 4 green counters and 6 yellow counters. A counter is taken at random, it's recorded, and the counter is replaced. A second counter is then taken, and we need to draw the probability tree diagram. So I'm going to start off by drawing the tree diagram. So the possible outcomes for each event is going to be green and yellow. So the counters can either be green or yellow. So I'm going to put G for green, Y for yellow, G for green, Y for yellow, G for green, Y for yellow. So it contains 4 green and 6 yellow. So the probability of green is going to be 4 over 10, and the probability of yellow is going to be 6 over 10. Now this is both for the first count, so I'm going to include a little label up here saying first counter, and I'm going to include a label up here for second counter. And this means that the first branch is for the results from the first counter and the second branches are the results from the second counter. So the fact that the colour is recorded and then replaced tells us that the number of counters remains the same. So probability of green for the second counter is going to be identical. So it's going to be 4 over 10 and 6 over 10, and this is going to be the same, so 4 over 10 and 6 over 10. So now I've got my tree diagram, I can answer the next part. So it says find the probability that both counters are the same colour. So both counters being the same colour, we can either have a green and a green or a yellow and a yellow. So we can either go green and green, or we can go yellow and yellow. So the probability of 2 green counters, so that's going to be 4 over 10 times 4 over 10, so that's going to be 16 over 100. And 6 over 10 times 6 over 10, that's going to be 36 over 100. So we're going to do 16 over 100 plus 36 over 100. And if we add them, we get 52 over 100. So we could, if we wanted to, write this as a decimal. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to write that as 0.52. This question here, it says the probability that if it rains today is 0.2. If it rains today, the probability that it rains tomorrow is 0.6. If it does not rain today, the probability that it rains tomorrow is 0.2. And we need to draw this on a probability tree diagram. So I'm going to draw the branches. So we have rain and not rain. So it says the probability that it rains today is 0.3. So I'm going to put 0.3 for rain. And then if the probability of it raining is 0.3, the probability of not rain is going to be 0.7. Then it says, if it rains today, the probability that it rains tomorrow is 0.6. So that means that the probability of raining, given that it rained today, is 0.6. And therefore, the probability of not raining, because the branches need to add up to 1, that's going to be 0.4. It then says, if it does not rain today, the probability that it rains tomorrow is 0.3. So given that it didn't rain, the probability of raining is 0.2. So I'm going to put that there. Now the probability of not raining, because again, probabilities add up to 1, that's going to be 0.8. And I'm just going to write down my labels for the events. So the events is going to be raining, so that my events are going to be today, and we have tomorrow. So then it says, find the probability that it rains tomorrow. So the probability that it rains tomorrow, so that we can either have it rain today and rain tomorrow, or not rain today and rain tomorrow. So it's either going to be rain today and rain tomorrow, or it's going to be not rain today and rain tomorrow. So the probability of it raining today and raining tomorrow, that's going to be 0.3 times 0.6, so that's 0.18. And the probability of it not raining today and then raining tomorrow is going to be 0.7 times 0.2. So multiplying those, we get 0.14. So we're going to do 0.18 plus 0.14. So if we add those, we get 0.32. So the answer to this question is 0.32. This next question here, we have a bag contains 5 red and 3 blue counters. 2 are taken without replacement. So we need to draw a probability tree diagram. So again, I'm going to draw the branches. So we have red and blue as our possible outcomes. And then the 2 events are going to be the first counter and second counter. So it says the bag contains 5 red and 3 blue. So the probability of getting a red counter is going to be 5 over 8, because there's 8 in total and 5 of them are red. The probability of blue counter is going to be 3 over 8. So given the first counter is red, if a first red counter was taken, we originally started with 5 red counters, but if we've already taken 1 out, there's now going to be 4 red counters left. And there's going to be 7 counters in total because 1 of them have been removed. So given that the first counter is red, the probability that the second counter is red is going to be 4/7. Now the probabilities need to add up to 1, so the probability that the second counter is green is going to be 3 over 7. Now, given that the first counter is blue, the probability that the second counter is red is going to be 5 over 7, because there's still 5 red counters, but 1 of the blue ones have been removed, so there's going to be 7 in total. The probability of the second one being blue, given that the first one was blue, is going to be 2 over 7, because the first one has been blue, and therefore 1 of the blues have been removed, so we've gone from having 3 blue to 2 blue, and we've now only got 7 in total. So that's my tree diagram for this. So we now need to find the probability that at most 1 counter is red. So at most 1 means 1 or less. So we need to find the probability that 1 or less of the counters are red. So 1 or less, you could have either 0 red counters or 1 red counters. So you could either have 2 blue, you could either have a red and a blue, or you could have a blue and a red. So if we do the probability of red and blue first, so that's red and blue, we're then going to do the probability of blue and red. And then finally, we're going to be doing the probability of blue and blue. So if we work each of these out, so red and blue, that's 5 over 8 times 3 over 7, so that's 15 over 56. And then blue and red, so that's 3 over 8 times 5 over 7, so that's equal to 15 over 56. And then blue and blue, we've got 3 over 8 times 2 over 7, so that's equal to 6 over 56. So we're going to add them, so 15 over 56 plus 15 over 56 plus 6 over 56, that's going to give us 36 over 56, and that's the answer to this question. This last question here, we have a bag contains X red counters and 4 blue counters. 2 counters are taken at random without replacement, and the probability that both counters are red is 1 over 3. We need to show that x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. So it's a bit of a different question, but it's a probability equation this time. So I'm going to draw out the tree diagram. So there are X red counters to begin with and 4 blue counters. So therefore in total, we're going to have x plus 4 counters. So the probability that the first counter is red is going to be x over x plus 4. The probability that the first counter is blue, because there were 4 originally, that's going to be 4 over x plus 4. Now, given that the first one is red, there's now been 1 red counter that's been removed. So we now have x minus 1 red counters left, and we've had 1 of our counters removed, so we have x plus 3 counters in total. So the blue counters hasn't changed, so there's going to be 4 over x plus 3 blue counters. Given that the first counter was blue, we've still got x red counters, but only x plus 3 counters in total. So it's going to be x over x plus 3 for this one. And then the probability that the second one is blue, given that the first one is blue, that's going to be 3 over x plus 3, because one of the blue have been removed, and we've now only got x plus 3 in total. So we're told the probability that the both counters are red is 1 over 3. So we're going to go through the path of red, and that probability is equal to 1 over 3. So we have x over x plus 4 times x minus 1 over x plus 3, and that is equal to 1 over 3. So now we're going to multiply the numerators and the denominators. So x times x minus 1, that's going to give us x squared minus x. And we have x plus 4 times x plus 3. So if we expand that, we get x squared plus 3x plus 4x plus 12. And that's equal to 1 over 3. So now we can simplify that. So x squared minus x over x squared plus 7x plus 12. And that equals 1 over 3. So to deal with this, we need to cross multiply. So I'm going to cross multiply to get rid of the fractions. So it's going to end up being 3 bracket x squared minus x equals x squared plus 7x plus 12. So now if I expand the brackets, we get 3x squared minus 3x equals x squared plus 7x plus 12. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to minus x squared from both sides. So we have 2x squared minus 3x equals 7x plus 12. And then I can minus 7x and 12 from both sides. So I end up with 2x squared minus 10x minus 12 equals 0. So finally now what we need to do is divide everything by 2, and we end up with x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. And that's what we're trying to show. So that's the end of that part. So this next part here, we need to work out the number of red counters that were originally in the bag. So to do this, we need to work out what x is. So we've already got the equation x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. So we're going to try and solve this. So to solve this, I'm going to factorize. So factorizing, we have to think of 2 numbers that multiply to minus 6 and add to make minus 5. So we're going to have minus 6 and 1. So that's going to be x minus 6 and x plus 1. So solving this, we get x equals 6 or x equals minus 1. But you can't have minus 1 red counters in the bag, so I'm going to straight away reject that. So the answer to this question is 6. There were 6 red counters originally in the bag. Okay, so that's everything I have for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in another video. Bye!